bought off of eBay when I realised that people were just doing a terrible job of selling them was a Rover 420 diesel. The old 400. Well, the new 400, but not the 45. The one that looks like a 45 from the side. It was an N-registered car, and it was advertised very, very poorly indeed on auction, and the seller had stated, nice car, no money for an MOT. Obviously that's the kind of thing that sets most people's alarm bells ringing, isn't it? No money for an MOT. Yeah, the MOT is not the expensive part, is it? It's fixing it when it fails. That's the problem. Most likely, because of this lack of information, the car only reached £100. And that £100 was my £100, and then I went to collect it. It was either Portsmouth or Southampton or one of those seaside places in the south of England that all look the same. So the man known as Senior Mustard, who wasn't known as Senior Mustard at the time, and I went down there in his Land Rover and a trailer that somebody he knew had, and just let us use it. Oh no, it was my friend Nick, that's it. Oh yes, that's the one. My friend Nick. He always let me borrow things. He was a fantastic guy, he was. The details of this car, I can't remember. I don't remember what the mileage was. I just remember it was blue and it was rather tatty looking, rather kind of unloved. A proper unloved Rover from the mid-90s. Thoughts? Brought it home, had a look around it and thought, well, let's just take it for an MOT. And it passed its MOT without needing any work at all. So the chap who did the advert, commendable, telling the truth. Pity you only got £100 out of it though, that's the only thing. This Rover 420 must have been the most economical car I'd had to date. It was fantastic. There was nothing wrong with the way it drove or anything like that. It just looked a bit rough, and that's simply it. One day, my brother and I decided that we was going to take a camping trip. So, we loaded up the car with tents and booze. Booze consisting mostly of rum and Cointreau. We set with the noggy dog in the back, looking all happy and excited to be going on quite a mission. We had a good drive. It was really rather enjoyable actually. We had a good laugh, laughed at all the newer cars broken down at the side of the road, right up until we got to, well, just past Rochdale, come to think of it. From Godalming to about Rochdale, so about 230 miles, and suddenly there was a kind of a shaking thing going on in the front. I said, that's a bit of an unusual noise, isn't it? My brother didn't notice it. He couldn't hear it for some reason. He carried on going. Got worse. I said, that's an unusual noise, isn't it? He said, I can't hear it. Carried on going. By the time we got to Shap, it was doing that. And then my brother could hear it, and he could feel it as well, because it felt like I was shaking the steering wheel around like that, like I was trying to make some sort of Rover milkshake. It got to the point where I simply had to pull off the motorway and go down an A road and stop. And at that point, called up the AA, I think it was AA or RAC, one of those, basically a breakdown cover, and they came out and towed us to the nearest garage, where they came up with a conclusion as to what was wrong with the car. The wrong conclusion, I might add as well. They said it needed a wheel bearing, and they could get one in tomorrow and do the job. But for some reason, I'm not sure what it was exactly, I kind of lost heart in this journey and took the option of just having the car relayed home instead. A rather curious thing about this though is that the recovery company wouldn't let the dog in the cab. It would have to go in the car. And knowing that my dog would have panicked quite a bit being in the car by itself, I chose another option of hiring a car off of this garage to go home in. That simply meant me just driving another 400 miles in a Kia Picanto that sounded like it had plastic wheels and drove like it was a roller skate, just so the dog didn't panic. And that's what happened. Because this was a tiny petrol engine car and I was already tired at this point, I thrashed it all the way back, and it got nowhere near as good miles per gallon as my Rover 420 did. Anyway, come to fix the old Rover 420, and it turned out it was a drive shaft issue. So replaced the drive shaft, carried on going, perfectly fine. And then I decided to sell this car on eBay, but this time I got £400 for it because I advertised it properly.